Hey everybody, my name's Chris Devits. I'm the Department Administrator in CAS Computer Science. My experience with 25 Live so far, I'm an early adopter. We're one of the first departments to get our schedule in there and begin using it to manage our proprietary spaces. So far so good. We're really excited to get going with it and use it in full this upcoming fall. Today, I'm going to be with you covering how to manage my desktop, to look at calendars and availabilities of spaces, to manage my favorites, and a whole host of other fun little things. So let's begin with some homepage tips and tricks. One of the things that I really find useful is these starred locations, the tasks, and our starred event searches that we would have created in some of our other trainings. I like to drag these to the middle because when I open up my desktop, those are the three things that I tend to be using the most right now. So to do that, it's very simple. All we're going to do is we're going to left click on what we want, and we're going to hold the left button and drag it to where we want it. Similarly, I'm going to take my starred event searches, left click, hold, drag to the center, and release. I'm going to take, we're going to take these. We're going to move them over here for now. We're going to take my event drafts, move them over here. We're going to take my tasks, which is another important area to be watching. This is where you'll have your tasks show up and you want to check them daily. And I'll leave those here. One other little tip, if there's something that you don't find yourself using very often, such as your starred resources, you can simply minimize it and it goes away and gives you a nice clean view. Now, let's say I've gone out of control and I've moved everything everywhere and it's starting to look pretty cluttered and terrible. There's always the option to go back to the factory reset. All you simply do, customize your dashboard. Click Reset Dashboard. You hit OK. And everything is back to as it was. From here, you can quickly look at the availability by going to Calendar up in the upper right-hand corner. We will open this up, and we will see that we are looking at our starred locations. So these are locations that we've previously starred as our favorites, which we'll actually go over in a little bit of how to do that. And then what you'll see here is for today in this week, what is going on in the computer science starred locations. Let's say I want to look at the availability for a particular day. I could go to availability, and I want to see out of those starred locations what's available on, let's say, September 7th. My chair has just sent me an email saying that will be our first faculty meeting date, and he wants to know what space I have available in the department in which I can schedule the meeting. I've clicked the date right here, and it's brought me to another calendaring feature. I've scrolled over till September 2016. I'll now click September 7th. September 7th, we can see that out of my proprietary spaces that we have in the Department of Computer Science, several of them are in use, but there are a couple that are available. Now, let's go back and let's talk about adding a starred space, because the space that my professor really wants is MCS 148. And as you can see in the left side here, MCS 148 isn't in my list. We'll go to Locations. Under Locations, I'll search for the specific room that I want. I will type in MCS 148 and hit Return. Here, you'll see MCS 148 comes up in the list. Simply, you can click it to get the details of it. I lied. It'll bring you to the calendar. So instead, you'll click the Details tab to get the details of it. In the details, you'll be able to see that listed location scheduler, CAS CS proprietary room, Math Computer Science building. The owner is CAS CS. I've confirmed that this is in fact the space that's mine, and now I will add it as a starred location. In order to do that, I just go back to Search for Locations tab. It brings me back to the list. I simply click the star, and I go back to my home page. Lo and behold, however, you'll see that MCS 148 is not actually added to my starred locations list. If I simply click the refresh button, now it's there. I'm going to again go back to availability. The availability tab will bring me to my list of starred locations and their availabilities. It's defaulted to September 7th based on my previous search. And looking at the refresh button here, if I click this, it will actually repopulate with MCS 148 in my list. You'll see that MCS 148 is booked from 2 to 3 p.m. as we saw in a previous screen. So what I would recommend to my chair is that we hold our faculty meeting in MCS 144 from 2 to 3 p.m. that day. Or I can recommend that we hold our faculty meeting from 3 to 4 p.m. that day in MCS 148 if that's the room that they need. Or we can look at a whole different date. That concludes our video of tips and tricks, adding and starring a proprietary space, and looking at availabilities and the calendars of particular spaces. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for bearing with me. And best of luck as you learn and navigate this new system. Keep trying, keep trying, keep trying. You only learn by staying in it. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to myself. I'm a super user. And best of luck for the fall semester, and good luck.